leave the arena till the close of the games, as there will be a wonderful gift for each and every one of you. All right, take me down. This is absurdly high. It's not what we discussed.
I didn't think I would enjoy this film as much as I did. Hey guys, my name is Avram. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so that you're aware of whenever I drop a video here on the channel. For this one, we're going to be talking about Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Now, let me start off by saying that this film took me by surprise, as you can see by the intro. It was because I had like a preconceived idea already of what it would be like based off of the trailers, the posters. I didn't really like what I was seeing, but I'm glad that I watched the film. But here are a couple of things that you might need to know before watching this movie in the theaters. Number one, this is based off of the role-playing game, the very popular role-playing game, which I believe is like a board game where you get to let your imagination run wild and go on these different quests as you design it as well and talk amongst yourselves as players. Second thing you gotta know is this film is not connected to the 2000s, mid-2000s trilogy that was released. I was actually surprised to find out that there was Dungeons & Dragons films before this. And fans of the game actually hoped for those films, when it was released at that time, to be on the level or somewhat similar to the vibes of Lord of the Rings.
You shall not pass!
Now, it must be said that again, this film, Honor Among Thieves, is not connected to those films and in no way tries to still live up to that expectation. Which brings me to my third point. Honor Among Thieves, this version is a comedy, fantasy, adventure film, and therefore it's not something in the most serious light in terms of Dungeons & Dragons. You're not going to go in and look for badass looking dragons, look for quests upon quests. You're not gonna watch something that is by all means serious. So let's start with the review by me talking about the comedic elements. I feel like although this might not have been the direction that most fans would have loved for the film or the film franchise, where it was expected to be that adventure, fantasy, almost Middle-earth wizards, paladins, and thieves and whatnot, that is in the same level as Lord of the Rings, this film, because of the comedic elements, actually works. There's just a light atmosphere or tone or vibe to this that actually works. Imagine Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean isn't a serious pirates movie.
Not sure I deserve that.
It has comedic elements to it that's enough and subtle, well, especially the first few ones. No, the other films actually went overboard.
I may have deserved that.
No pun intended. It's similar to what Honor Among Thieves gives us. And I actually loved how it was devised this way. It's funny, it's adventurous. I love personally the heist theme to it. I love heist movies. I love Army of Thieves and anything to do with heist. And that element here in like Middle-earth kind of situation and the olden times and whatnot, and having to fight wizards and all of these things as well, was really cool to see. One of the biggest elements for the comedy here, I feel, belongs to Chris Pine.
Not relevant.
Now I'm gonna say this about Chris Pine. I think he's one of the most underrated comedic actors that we have. We have Ryan Reynolds, we have Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth even, who have this sort of comedic way in dealing with their characters, and they're the face of blockbuster films. Chris Pine needs to be in more because there's just a natural, easygoing, relatable nature to him as an actor and how he gets into his characters.
The existing plan fails, I make a new plan.
So you make plans that fail?
No.
He also plays the lute.
Nagustuhan ko kasi hindi siya forceful. There was no forced comedy. It just landed the way it was supposed to. It wasn't because of the lines. It wasn't because of anything funny per se. He was just very funny and light all throughout the movie. And continuing off of that, I love the entire like group of misfits kind of direction. Like these are the most unruly, the bottom of the barrel kind of heroes. It all just makes sense. It all just comes together when it doesn't supposed to in a film like this. It's like putting, like I said, just misfits together, and for some reason that's the thematic thing that works for Honor Among Thieves. There's elements in this film that aren't supposed to work, but for some reason they just do. A Dungeons and Dragons film that isn't serious, that's one. And in putting a film like this with heist elements, putting comedy into it, putting themes of family as well up in the forefront, it's just amazing to see. Now, I will have to say there were things that suffered along the way. The visuals weren't pleasing to the eye. There were a lot of the CGI effects that were just not good and not polished enough. But what does manage to surface here is a good story, is a good emotional connection with the characters. I mean, instantly you're connected with them. Even though you've just met them for this film, it's like you've known them and you're cheering for them. And all of them just really felt to be in sync with each other. And that's why, despite being very surprised about this film, I just ended up loving it. It reminded me not to judge a book by its cover. I give it actually a score of 8 out of 10. Again, there are things that still could be improved, but this is definitely one of the shockers for this year. One that I totally nearly wrote off in my book, and one that I suggest you guys don't do as well. Don't follow me, judge it by the trailer, but I'm glad that I still checked it out. That's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you do, hit that like button. Share, subscribe, do all those things that I've said before, and continue to follow me here on A-Vlogs. That's it. Don't forget to make every day into an adventure, and catch you guys on the next one.